Hi there, it's Lori from Lollipop Paper and Ink, and welcome to my stamp studio. Today we're going to be doing a little video tutorial on a brand new product from the new mini catalog, January to June 2021 mini catalog. And what we're going to be doing today is working with a new product that are called blending brushes, and it's no big deal. You might totally miss it here in the catalog. It's on page 70, and you get a package of 3 of these blending brushes. They will completely take the place of any sponging that you are used to doing. The feel for it, the softness is beyond what you'll be able to obtain with just regular sponges. It comes 3 to a pack. They're $12 each. You can see it looks like a sponge from the outside, but it's really like a gazillion little fibers that make the absolute softest, it's just the softest feeling that you could possibly get. It just feels like little puppy fur. So I wanted to do a few projects with you. So our first project today will just be general blending and telling you how I get a specific look that I'm going for. So in this case, I already heat embossed an image from the Corner Bouquet stamp set, and this is a stamp set that is a celebration item, which means you can't purchase it, but you can earn it with a $50 purchase through this catalog or through the annual catalog. It's a level 1 reward. So I used that image, the larger of the 2 images, and I heat embossed it just with white emboss powder. It's just one technique of how you can use your blending brushes. You obviously could have stamped this, but today we're just talking about the blending process. So I'm going to use three inks. I have Misty Moonlight, Crumb Cake, and Balmy Blue. And I think what I'm going to do is start off with the Misty Moonlight. Now you'll notice with these brushes, it's very flexible on the handle, and I don't think that's a necessarily good thing when I'm working with it. So I feel like you have more control if you put keep your hand very tight down to the end, and keep your forefinger on the flat surface, and you just have more control if you want to make it a heavier ink or a lighter. So just like in with sponging, where I always start. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to rub it. Now you'll notice I have I'm still waiting for a second package because I want to keep them in color families so that so you don't transfer the ink from one to the other. You can wash them, rinse them under warm water, and it will take the color off, but it takes a very, very long time to dry because, like I said, it has a gazillion things in here that would have to dry, and you want it to be completely dry. So I feel that, and what I've been doing is just trying to keep it in the one color family. When I'm done with it, I will just wipe it off as best I can onto the scrap paper and then move on to my other blue family. So once I have all 6, I will be able to spread it out a little bit more. Okay, so you want to just always start off your paper. So you'll need to have some scrap paper handy. So I want my inside corner to be the darkest. So again, I'm just using a very light coverage here. If you wanted to use a darker coverage or spread it out a little more around the corner, that would be fine. It just helps to you don't want to have like a big blob being right there on the edge there. Okay, so I'm just going to, this is how I'm cleaning the bristles off, and it will be good enough to pick up on the other one. on the next color, which I'm going to be using Balmy Blue for the other side. So this one I have, this is one I'm using for my crumb cake. And I haven't used that yet with this brush, so I just want to see what I'm looking at here. So, all right, same thing. I'm just going to come in and swirling motions, get as much as I can of the added interest. Now you can see here there's a little area where there is no color, so I do want to get that brushed in a little bit. Okay, I like that. And if you want it to just be a little darker, I want the ones on top to pop too. And that looks pretty good. I'm just going to come in here. Okay, I want those end pieces to be a little darker. All right, so let's go back to the Balmy Blue now. Let me just wipe this off just in case I pick it up next time and I don't remember to check. Okay, it's pretty good. There's not, that was from the ink pad, that's not from this, but nothing there to worry about. Okay, so I'm back to the Balmy Blue. I'm getting off as much of the Misty Moonlight as I can, and I'm going to just go back and do the same thing. And this I want really light, so I'm not pressing hardly much at all. And you can see you really can't get this kind of smoothness when you're using the sponges. So yeah, I like that. So I'm just going to end up making sure my corners, my edges of my paper have a little bit of ink on them. Okay, and that is that. You can make it as dark or as light as you want. I want to keep this light though because I want to put my sentiment right on top there. Okay, that's good to go. So I think I'm going to use the Misty Moonlight for the sentiment. And for this sentiment, this just is a sorry for your loss sentiment. And this I got from this set, which is also a celebration set, and it is a $50 level 1 $50 reward. And this has beautiful fonts and a really thoughtful sentiment to use on that. Okay, so I'm using my Misty Moonlight. I'm going to just check on my sentiment here because I'm not positive if I was careful putting it onto my block straight. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And the sentiments in this book, it's something strikes me that they're different. They're just the lightness of it is just really striking. Okay, so that's that. That's as far as we need to go on for this one. So I'm going to, you could add ribbon or you could add some dots, some enamel dots from the Misty Moonlight, the color family, the ink colors, excuse me. Okay. Oh, this is the plus. I don't really need this, but the plus does seem to behave better for me though. So this is a beautiful, simple, easy card just to put together. Unfortunately for those last minute notices where you need a sympathy card. Okay, here we go. How pretty is that? Okay, so that's it for this video. I have another one coming up, and we're going to be using the little vellum squares, and I'll show you how we can do some, use the blending brushes for that. This was another one that I had done, same idea with the corner bouquet stamp set, and I just did it different colors and different orientation. Okay, I'll see you next time for the second video on the blending brushes. Hi again, welcome back to my stamp studio. It's Lori from Lollipop Paper and Ink. So for this video, we're going to, I'd like to show you how to color something with your blends, your blending brushes, and you can use a die cut, or in this case, I used one of these vellum doilies, these square doilies, and I'll just show you how I did that to make a really pretty card. And we'll get double the punch out of this because we can use two aspects of it. So like I said before, I'm going to my brush that is in the blue-green family, and I'm not washing it in between. To me, it's easier for me. It's just easier to keep them separate instead of, and then if I wanted to wash them, it would just have to be when I knew I wasn't going to use them for a while, because they do take a very long time to dry. Okay, so in this case, this is what I used this on my previous card, but now I want to use the mint macaron, and that is in the blue-green family. So what we're going to do here is I'm placing just a piece of scrap, Whisper White scrap, and I'm placing it, my vellum doily, over it. I'm not taping it because I'm pretty confident that I can just hold it down and turn it as I need it. But the idea is to just get the color from the blending brush onto the doily, and then also to keep it steady enough where hopefully we could use the background image also as another aspect to our card. Okay, so it's the same thing here. In this case, it doesn't really matter if I work off the paper and then work in, because this is pretty, it's gonna grab the color. It's not going to, because it has two layers now. So, and if you go off a little bit like I just did, you just go back on and keep doing the brushing. Brushing on, brushing off. You can make certain areas darker than others. And again, I'm using my pointer finger to handle most of the pressure. And it's okay if you go off a little, because I'm going to try to cut that, crop this out with an actual die. And I'll show you how I did that. All right, so you just want to try to keep it as clean as you can, but it's not going to matter too much. It's just the idea. You want the color to be on both. Okay, so there you go. Now, what I'll do here is, now I have this. If I wanted to add a little bit more color to this one, which I think I might, I would just give this a little bit extra, and I'll show you how I designed a little card using both of these pieces. Mint macaron is a fabulous color anyway. Okay, all right, so again, I'm just going to do the best I can to get whatever color is still in there, get it off, and so it should be ready for next time, just in case I forget to check. Okay, so what I'm just going to do is run this through the Big Shot, not the Big Shot, the Boss machine. Now I have to keep remembering to call it the cut and emboss machine. And where is my layer? Here it is. I'm just going to cut this out with, this is the largest square from the layering squares. Is it the layering squares, or it's the, yeah, it's the layering squares. I wasn't sure if it was the stitched shape squares. Okay, so I'm going to put that on there. And you can see it is a little blurry on the inside. It's not as crisp as my first one, which I'll show you. But that's totally fine, because it's just part of the design. All right, let's get rid of this. And what I did here was just, I can remove that. I have my Whisper White card base. I have my colored doily. And what I did here was I took a piece of the mint macaron cardstock beforehand, and I did run it through the emboss machine with it's called the Painted Texture 3D embossing folder, and this is part of the Fine Art Floral new suite that's in the new catalog. And I plan to have a whole suite celebration on that one. So, but this, I just love this this embossing folder. You can see, you can use whatever you prefer. I do prefer the embossed layer, but certainly there might be some instances where I could use the debossed layer. So what I'm going to do is put this on here, and then I'm going to put this one on here, and I can do it either which way. I think I'll do it this way. This is how I did my last one. And then we're going to put the sentiment right on top there. Okay, so for this, before I put this on my card base, though, I want to wrap some ribbon around it. But I do want to adhere this first before we do that. So really all I need to know, all I need to do is put some adhesive on this side of it. Not have to worry about it being seen. And you could use the liquid glue. I find this is good enough because your other layer is going to cover it nicely. Okay, so you know that's there. And then I'm just going to put this right here. Right on top there. Okay, now I can get a little bit of ribbon around it. And I think what I did on my other card is I didn't wrap it all the way around, but I'll do that this time just to save some time. Whoops. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, now we can put this on the base. Okay, now I'm just going to pop it up with a little sentiment and use a few dimensionals to get that up. And this sentiment was from another new product in the new catalog, and it is called, let me see where it is, it's called Oval Occasions, and it comes with, it's a punch bundle. So it comes with this adorable punch that makes two size oval shapes. One is scalloped and one is not. So, and it has some really cute little sentiments and images on there. Okay, there you go. And I could add a few embellishments if I wanted to, but I wanted to show you this second way of using your blending brushes to, and you can get 2 additional add-ons to your card project just by using one stencil, and we're using the vellum as a stencil. Okay, so our next video, I'm going to be showing you how to actually use a die cut as a stencil with our blending brushes, and again, we'll be able to do double the duty and get 2 card projects out of it. Okay, we'll be right back. Hi again, and welcome back to our third little video on the new blending brushes. For this one, I thought we would do make our own stencil, and I made this. This is a out of a die cut. Now this is a brand new bundle from the new catalog. It's called Simply Succulents. I haven't even used it yet, haven't even gotten into that part, but I have used the dies because I wanted to use this huge die as a stencil for us to work with. So I just ran it through the Boss machine, and I just ran it through with Whisper White, and I came out with this top layer. So I layered this on top of just a another, I didn't even measure it, I don't even think, the bottom layer of Whisper White, because I can trim that later after I'm done. So I have it taped down because I didn't want this to, it wasn't like the vellum squares where it was okay if it was a little cloudy in some areas. So I do want this to be a little bit precise. So I'm using Gorgeous Grape, Highland Heather, and Pool Party. And we'll see how those go. Now, like I said, I'm waiting for my next 3 brushes to come. I'm not really even sure when that's scheduled to be delivered. So I'm trying to keep my colors separate. This will be from my blue greens. This will be from my orange reds. And I think I'm gonna have to break this into being, I just used gray and a little bit of yellow on here. So this is gonna have to be deemed my purples and maybe my darker reds. But it's fine, I'm checking, there's nothing on there. It's still dry from the last time I used it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take the darker of the purples, which is the Gorgeous Grape, and I'm just going to go onto the inside here. This I do want to be dark, so I'm adding a little extra pressure here. And I'm just doing the insides of the blooms. And I think I'll just keep it at 5. Okay, so let's get rid of this. And you can see these are really dark. The purples, Blackberry Bliss, Rich Razzleberry, those will be, they really do need their own brush. So, okay, this looks good. And Highland Heather is so close in that group, so we don't have to worry about that. All right, so let me take a little bit of the Highland Heather. I'm going to do the same thing, but this time I'm going to do my rolling off onto the page where I want it, just because I don't want it to be I don't want it to be that striking where you'll see it. All right, so let's give that a clean off and go to our blue. And this is a Pool Party, which is pretty light. So I'm gonna have to press a little bit harder on here. And again, all my pressure is on my finger there. So let's just go in here. I don't want to go over where I did my purples, but I want to make sure that the blue is able to be seen. Okay, and you can see it coming through nicely here, and I can just make sure my edges have some color to them. Okay, let's get a little bit of blue in here. And you can spread it out as you're doing it. Okay, I think that's good enough. Let's brush that off. You can see there's really nothing is coming off here. Okay, so now the hardest part, and I used the painter's tape because I did have a little bit of a problem with the, this seems a little better, with the washi tape. It didn't seem to want to cooperate as much, but this looks pretty good. Okay, let's do this side. And again, I think it's a lot to do with the pressure that you're using when you're taking it off. So just go slow and easy. Okay. And then I'll take this one off. Whoops, that one is a little tight. Let's see if we can do better from here. Okay, it's fine. Okay, and one more. Whoops, don't pull it. All right, let me do that from back here. That is really tight on the top layers there. Okay. Here we go. And I did tape those down to my desktop just to be sure it wasn't wiggling. Okay, and look how pretty this is. I love that color combination. And now I can just trim this down to whatever I want with my pattern. And when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking of the hydrangea suite, which I think that would be a beautiful background for that. And then also this one, I don't have a card base, but this one would look pretty just on a regular card base right over there. So you have double duty. You can use, you're all ready with your layers for 2 projects. I did another color when I was first testing it, and this I used Pool Party and Balmy Blue, I think I used. And this is a really nice, cool kind of color combo also. And then this would look so pretty on a card base. So there you go. There's just another way of using the new blending brushes that are in the new catalog. And they are pretty inexpensive. You get 3 in a for $12. You get a 3-pack. So you can afford to get more, or if you want to just keep the 3, just wash them. Just make sure they are super dry before you start to use them again. Okay, thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you learned something and you get to try out these adorable little blending brushes soon. Okay, thank you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.